what am I feeling besides anger? Because keep in mind, let me tell you something. Anger is a lot easier to feel than vulnerability. And it is a lot easier to just let out rather than the actual reason of why you're upset. And so oftentimes when I'm triggered, I shut my mouth and I distance myself, and I take a moment to reflect, and I take a moment to just cry if I need to, even if it's something so stupid. Whatever, I'm allowed to. Because in a way, that is validating your feelings. And that's also part of a lot of reasons of why we're not exactly facing our problems. If you have a random push of energy where something happened and you just felt like crying because you're like, that's stupid. You're instantly unvalidating your feelings. You're not telling yourself that you are not important enough to feel what you want to. You're not allowed to be yourself. Like that is what you're initially telling your brain when you tell yourself, no, don't cry over something that's stupid. No. You can be upset about something. You're valid to it. You're allowed to, even if it's something stupid. It may not even be about what was stupid. It may be about something that was behind it, and you couldn't see that until you actually let it out. And you're like, oh, like I really wasn't even upset about this. I was just upset because of the way that it was handled or how I was talked to, like things like that. Question, if you drop an ice cube at fridge, do you pick it up or kick it under and give it to the dog? I always pick it up and I throw it in the sink. I just throw it in the sink. Well, Tony, let me tell you something. God is everything. He is us. He is you. He is the trees. He is everything that is energy. Because energy cannot be created, nor can it die. Everything that is essential on this earth, in a way, because when you look at certain situations, and when they happen ironically, and it just was too weird of how ironic and lined up it was, well, that's because, number one, Christ lives through you and through everyone else you meet. They say that the body is Lucifer and the mind is Christ, because the soul, the spirit is Christ. It is eternal. The body, it's only temporary. And unfortunately, and in this world, we get to decide whether we choose materialistic or spiritual, physical or mental. You see what I'm saying? Rangel, I hope I'm not saying your name wrong. I'm sorry. And this is my journal. Sorry. Yes, regardless of what they are, emotions don't need to have a reason or make sense. They're to feel. Exactly. Motherfucking exactly. Mind over matter. And thank you for the rose. I was reading Every Being in the Different Dimensions They Want to Be Us. You should send me that book. I want to start my spiritual journey. What do you suggest for me to do first? I want you to ask yourself, are you happy? Ask yourself, are you happy with your friend groups? Are you happy with the way that you treat yourself? Are you happy with how you feel? It goes in so many perspectives, but the first thing when it comes to spiritualism and just figuring out who you are as an individual is learning who you are, what you like, what you don't like, and really listening to that feeling of when you don't like something or you just are not okay with something and doing something about it, whether that's, cutting off ties with a certain relationship because it's just not working for you. Or number two, going out for a run in the morning because you want to feel better about yourself or you want to feel good in your head. That is another thing. It all starts with action. We can think about it all we want to, but spirituality really starts when we start actually building our platform to stand on. Because you can think up anything in your mind and so forth, but until you actually tell yourself, okay, like, no, I'm not going to do this because I don't want to, that right then and there is accepting, acknowledging, valuing, and respecting yourself. And that in itself, it tells you in your brain, because let me tell you something, your brain is kind of not in sync with you. It's hard to explain, but the brain naturally wants to protect you from traumatic experiences. So it's going to really push away everything negative that you have ever been through, any situation that you have ever encountered that might have affected you in that moment and could have prevented you from moving forward, because the brain's natural instinct is survival, to move forward. So until we can tell ourselves, I'm ready, I can handle this, you can let it go, then it won't happen. But you can't just think it. You also need to be physical about it as well. You need to speak it. The physical part of the world is the world you're living in right now. Don't live in your head, live in right now. And see where it gets you.